Jerky camera work can be an interesting effect or a style, but most of us like our video like we like our beverages, smooth. Enter the Zhiyun Crane. This motorized 3-axis gimbal for small cameras is a great solution. And this shot is taken with the Zhiyun Crane, and we're shooting with the Sony a6300 with a 10 to 18 millimeter lens.
Back in the day, Steadicam and its clones were the only stabilizer in town. Heavy and complicated, they relied on a series of counterweights to lower the camera system's center of gravity and smooth out movement. The Zhiyun and its competitors use microprocessors with motion sensors to detect movement and 3 motors to counteract that movement. As a result, motorized gimbal stabilizers are much smaller, much easier to operate, and now more affordable. This footage from an afternoon of trying a variety of shots is impressive, particularly for novice stabilizer operators. But taking the Zhiyun along is a deliberate decision. You don't just throw it into your bag and go. Taking its price point, ease of setup, and use into account, I like this stabilizer, and I've returned devices in the past without posting a review, sometimes because I just could not get the unit balanced. The Zhiyun Crane works.
I needed this for a project, so I bought it after watching a bunch of YouTube reviews of it and its competitors, and I'm happy with my decision. It will soon be joining us on a Viking Rhine getaway cruise.
The kit comes in a sturdy carry case with 2 sets of batteries, a charger, a camera mounting screw, and a handy, if not fully detailed, setup guide. The case is an unexpected bonus. The unit's about 40 centimeters tall, weighs just under a kilo. It can support up to 1.5 kilos of combined camera and lens weight. I mounted the Fuji X-T2, which is near the device's limit with the XF23mm prime, as well as the smaller and lighter Sony a6300 with a 10 to 18mm lens. Although the first attempt at balancing will take some time as you familiarize yourself with the adjustments and understand clearly what you're trying to achieve by watching several YouTube videos. There are 3 rotation points: tilt, roll, and pan to adjust.
The setup adjustments made by loosening the screws and sliding the arms can be tricky, but the parts seem to be well made and operate smoothly. Some initial frustration quickly turns to satisfaction. Although it's slightly finicky, it is easily mastered.
It's best to use a prime, or to use a zoom at a fixed length, so that the weight balance doesn't change.
I found 2 things to be essential to success. First, a small tripod. This is the Vanguard VS82. The unit won't balance on its own handle, but does have a tripod socket. This makes setup and balancing a lot easier.
The other useful accessory is a quick release plate. I tried a Manfrotto combo that didn't quite sit flush and found this Kulihoda Arca Swiss clamp and plate. Otherwise, the screw to mount the camera keeps getting lost. This also makes it easier to mount and remove the camera when needed.
Zhiyun would be smart to include the small tripod and the quick release plate. I think they'd be more useful than the case.
They do include a support bracket if you're using longer lenses. Not sure how feasible that is. The clearances and tolerances are pretty small. I'm certain a longer lens would be quite challenging to balance. There's a power on switch. The LED flashes to show the current battery charge. 4 flashes is fully charged. The number of flashes decreases with battery power. Batteries are rated for 6 hours. They last at least that long in my experience. By default, the stabilizer is in pan follow mode. It stays level, but turns left and right as you turn. The joystick below the power switch tilts the camera up and down. Press the joystick once to switch to lock mode, where it doesn't turn left and right. Use the joystick to pan through the whole 360-degree circle, and it keeps going. Double press for full follow. Now it pans and tilts as you turn and tilt the handle. We tried running up the stairs. That worked nicely. And although I thought we'd get some bobbing in a flat-out run, not so much. The handle is fine for most shots, but adding a monopod provides a wider field of motion and pretty much simulates a crane. Well, now that I have the basics figured out, there's still some learning to do to optimize my shooting and my shots. As with other skills, practice will improve my craft. The unit has a USB port and comes with a cable, which can be used to update the firmware. After I installed the provided device driver on my Mac, that turned out to be an easy and simple process. There's a free Zhiyun smartphone app available for both iOS and Android. It connects using Bluetooth. The app displays the status of the unit, including the current mode, provides control, and has some advanced configuration settings to fine-tune performance.
The app works nicely as a remote control and can usefully reset and recenter the camera. And there's a one-button 180-degree turn. Hi, Sunham! Although many manufacturers are adding stability to their cameras, mostly it's designed for taking stills, and don't compare with the real stability that you get with the Zhiyun.